Welcome to the Authentically Elisa podcast, Reshaping Business with Integrity, the podcast where we explore how to run your business authentically and with integrity. I'm your host, Elisa Boogaerts, a business coach and launch manager, helping coaches launch their programs and events that align with their business values. Together, we'll uncover the secrets to building a successful business without sacrificing morals, ethics, authenticity, or heart. Let's dive in. All right. Welcome to this episode. Today, you're getting just me because I just wanted to just share my recent experience and kind of share some tips and things. And so I recently went on the Marketer's Cruise. Now, in the coaching and entrepreneur space, there's cruising. I mean, it's been around for a while, obviously, but at least it's kind of new to me, and it's like a different level. Like I always think about with coaching, right? There are events you go to conferences and things like that. And then there's like the other level of going on retreats where you actually go on a trip, or maybe it's a stay-at-home retreat or within your local community. And then cruising, I feel like, is like the next level up. And the ones that I know about, there's like the Marketer's Cruise, there's a Podcaster's Cruise, there's the Speaker's Cruise, there's the Influencer's Cruise. There's so many different cruises out there that you can go to. And what happens is that, you're on a cruise ship. So there's, say, like 4,000 people on this ship, but then you have a group of about, say, 400 or 500 people that are all part of this community. And with those people, you have someone who's organizing it all, and they will have, sort of conference style things, networking events. We were lucky enough to be able to go on excursions with just the people within the marketers group, which was just so super awesome. So it was this amazing event. And I was actually blown away by it. To be honest, at the beginning, I was kind of dreading it. So something that my business coach introduced to me a couple of years ago, and I didn't go. And finally this time I'm like, okay, I'm going. But y'all know I'm a bit introverted, so this could be my nightmare. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm going to be trapped on a boat for 9 days with a bunch of strangers I got to talk to every day. I'm like, oh, fuck my life. Why am I doing this to myself? And, but as, I was talking about it and in different networking meetings and different programs that I'm in, I learned that other people were going, people that I've known. So some people I've actually met in person, and some people that I've, spoken with and seen on Zoom and had conversations with so many times, but hadn't actually met in person. And so I was really super excited to meet them and hug them and have conversations and really deepen those relationships. So that was kind of how my intention was for the cruise, because on the cruise, they say, there's no pitching. We're not supposed to be selling ourselves or our products. Of course, if that comes up, that's wonderful. But it's more about networking and building relationships and building connections. So, being the introvert, I was like, okay, perfect. I'm going to just stick to the people that I know. And I'm going to really try to deepen those relationships, have those conversations, hang out with them. And that was my goal. That was just what I wanted to do. And it was really amazing how, and actually I did do that entirely. I deepened those relationships. There's some people maybe I wanted to talk to a bit more, but it's kind of crazy, right? Because you're on the ship and there's all these things to do, and there's things that the Marketer's Cruise are doing, and there's things that the ship are doing. And sometimes you just want to escape and relax or nap even. And there's just so much stuff to do. So sometimes you don't get to hang out with everybody you want to hang out. And the amazing thing is that what ended up happening was that I met so many new people. And I think it's because I went in, with this intention. So I felt safe because, like even in my life and in business, I feel a lot safer around people that I know. And, I don't feel like they're going to harm me in any way. And even in my life, I have close friendships where I'm it's all kind of individual, and like they sort of have their group of friends and I know all of them, but the person I actually like hang out with and talk to is usually just kind of like one person. And so I have all these little communities and little groups. And so that's kind of sort of how I operate and what I was planning on doing on this ship, and just kind of, not clinging on to them, but they were the ones I was going to seek out and speak to. And yeah, I ended up meeting so many people because there was all these opportunities to talk and speak, or maybe they knew somebody and they introduced you to somebody else, or sometimes you were just sitting beside somebody, or you just saw someone smiling and you're attracted to their energy and you just wanted to go up and spark up a conversation. And we had some like networking things, and everybody would introduce themselves. And there was this amazing day where everybody got to do a little 30-second intro. And so when we're on these excursions, I would meet somebody and be like, hey, like, who are you? Tell me what you do. And we kind of do the 30-second intro. And they'd be like, oh, I actually wrote you down. You're someone I wanted to connect with. And I also have a list of people that I wanted to connect with. And I was like, oh, you're on my list too. Are you on page 58 of the directory that they created for us? And it was just really cute how in doing those 30-second intros, we wrote each other down. And then just by chance, we happened to be on the same excursion, sitting beside each other, or, like, and I just thought that that was quite magical. And in doing that, and also in just speaking about myself and what I do as part of my introduction, not that I was selling in any way, right? It was all about authentic networking. There were so many people that were like, oh, I think I need you. I think that I could really use your services. I want to learn more about that. Like, tell me about that. And then they would just start talking to me about their launches. And of course, that gets me all excited, right? I want to hear all about the launches and what they're doing and where they're at with it and what their strategy is. And so it just turned into this wonderful conversation. And so even though, yeah, there was no pitching, there was so many connections to be had, which I just kind of blew my mind and I thought was incredible and something I hadn't really expected. I think I kind of thought maybe I would shy away, or how we can um not think the world of ourselves. I don't know about you. I guess I like to be humble. Of course, I know I have skills and I'm like very good at what I do and I'm very experienced and I'm a kind person and all that, but I also like to be humble and not necessarily brag about myself or talk about myself too much. And just in, opening up a little bit and sharing, I was really sort of validated, that what I have is really quite valuable, which is something we're actually talking about this in one of my masterminds, was that, sometimes we have these skills and talents that we don't even see because in ourselves, it's natural, right? We just do it, whatever. With me planning, organizing, everybody always tells me how organized I am. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's just this is the thing. It's just kind of boring. I don't know. This is what I do. And but other people, they're like, what? I'm so disorganized. Can you please help me? Or I'm so crazy about the tech. Like, will you help me with that? Or, all these different things. And so um yeah, it was really truly amazing. And so yeah, so there's all these people that maybe I have potential clients that I need to follow up with, or just people I want to continue talking to, and definitely want to be sort of front of mind for them and keep those relationships going so that whenever they are ready for me, they'll remember me and know that I'm there, and we'll have that continue that conversation and see how we can work together. And also I love supporting them as well. And like that was another thing, is having all these collaboration partners, and people that you can meet to collaborate with and support each other with. And even my one of my business partners, we're going to be launching something in March of 2025. If you're listening to this before that, and so we sat down together and actually did some work and some planning, which is a lot of fun. I also have a new mentor, which was a surprise. He's going to really help me 10x my business. And I've already been so inspired by him and what he does, and just watching what he does and looking at his little videos and that he posts all the time, and just being like, okay, yes, okay, I can step this up. I can do it. I can 10x my revenue. And it's kind of scary and exciting all at the same time. And you wonder how you're going to have the time for it. But one thing that happened on the cruise as well was this amazing, all these different AI tools that were shared. And yeah, so I'll put some of those tools in the show notes. I mean, to be honest, there was like, I want to say like 100 tools shared. So I'll have to sift through them and see which ones I'd like to share with you. But yeah, so that was a surprise and something amazing, which I'm very excited about for this year. And like I said, there was the collaboration partners. There were so many people there that I feel like I could collaborate, where we have, similar clientele, similar audience, and similar avatar persona of people that we help. And it's just like, how can we collaborate together? How can we support each other? And so, speaking of collaboration partners, I recently wrote an article in a magazine about collaboration, and I don't think that I've shared this story, but I've known this woman. Her name is Michelle Abraham, and I'm going to have her as a guest on here at some point in time. Her and I were childhood friends. We knew each other since we were teenagers, and we hung out then, and we even traveled, backpacked in Australia together, which was amazing. And then after Australia, our lives went in completely different directions. Our paths completely diverged. Only to about like 2 decades later, we found ourselves in the same industry again. And I think you've probably heard me talk about Podapalooza, which is something that she runs a few times a year. And it's just like this amazing podcasting event. And someone told me about it. And I looked and I was like, wait a second. I know that person. And I was able to reach out to her, which was just so super cool. And this was about, 6 months before I left my corporate job, when her and I kind of like rekindled this friendship, which was amazing, just how our worlds sort of like collided again. It was just absolutely incredible. Um, Her and I, decided to meet up and like, let's have a conversation. And so we went for a brunch because we were both in the same city. And we were just talking about stuff. And she's this amazing ideas person. And of course, so she has all these ideas and she was just throwing them at me. And she was actually the person who was entirely pivotal in me shifting my business to be the launch manager that I am today. She saw my project management skills, and even she needed them herself. She was like, I need help to get organized. Like, I don't know what I should be doing every day. How I need to, like, I have so many ideas and so many thoughts. Like, I need somebody to kind of like solidify them into a thing and tell me, okay, focus on this first, focus on this next, which is my wheelhouse. This is what I do. And this is how I organize everything in my brain. And to me, like I was saying before, I didn't really think that that was a skill, but apparently it is. And some people need help with that. So yeah, it was her idea over brunch this one day to really to incorporate my project management skills, right? And really help the coaches and launch their program. So this really sparked this major career shift. And from then I started talking to my other business coach, and then it sort of has evolved into what it is today. And it is still evolving, which is just so super cool. Yeah, so at that time she was launching a new business. So she had her business, which was doing really, really well, and she wanted to step away from it, launch her own business, and she was doing a mastermind. So her and I decided to swap services because Michelle she's an entrepreneur true and true. So when I was, 20 whatever years in corporate, she was an entrepreneur that entire time. And she always seems to be ahead of the game. Like what she gets into is something that hasn't quite picked up yet. And it happens to happen like 5 years later. So she's always one step ahead, which I just find amazing. And so I helped to organize and strategize her launch for that. And then she invited me into her mastermind and into her community, and kind of, connected me with other coaches. And because she's very much a connector of people. So it was this amazing exchange that we had. And this really opened my eyes to the world of collaboration, because before then, I had sort of been taught that you want to get these JV partners, you want to get these affiliates people to help you promote your events and things, which definitely is important. And you do want that, but that's not really collaboration. That's not really developing strategic, alliances and partnerships. And this is what Michelle kind of opened my eyes to. It's like, oh, right. It's not just about promoting each other. It's actually about supporting each other, swapping services, doing all these different types of things. And I just thought it was really cool. And then now, once you become aware of something, you see it everywhere, right? And so after that, I kind of looked around and realized that so many other businesses do this, right? Like collaboration is really key to any business. And there's so many different ways that you can collaborate, and a lot of them can be really fun. And when I am at networking events and talking about, how I want to support people and things that I'm kind of looking for, I almost always do it in a way where it's a win-win for both of us. So for example, like with Michelle, it was the swapping of services, right? I'm going to get you organized, get your business launched, and get this mastermind out there. And then she brought me into her mastermind, introduced me to people, connected me with people, and even coached me in certain things. And so it kind of showed me the entrepreneur way, which was, she obviously knows so much more about than I do and has so much more experience in it. So swapping services is a way that you can collaborate with someone. You can also do lead magnet swaps. So this is when you meet somebody that has a similar audience to yours, or who would be like a good collaboration partner, but you offer different things. And so perhaps your lead magnet, your gift, your little freebie would be something that their people would really, really like. So you give them the link to the lead magnet. Usually you do it through an affiliate link so you can see how many people they bring in, and they email it to their list or post it on their social media, or whoever's in their world, they share your lead magnet. So now you get exposure to all of their people. And then you do the same for them in return. So if you think that their lead magnet is something that your people would love, share it with your community, and then you both grow. Because when you think about it, you have like an email list or you have social media, but not all those people are going to be your clients, right? It's actually, when you think about it, like the amount of people it's actually quite much smaller than what our community is. And so perhaps those people would be better clients for your partner, your collaboration partner, your joint venture partner, right? If they're not going to buy from you, they might as well buy from them. So, don't be protective of your community, definitely share and introduce them to other people, which is something that I love doing in my newsletter. Once a month, I share, there's many people that I've met and I've been to their workshops, and I think they have so much to offer and things that would be super helpful for my people. So I share their events and I share their lead magnets because, I just want people to get out there and launch their programs and do the best that they can to make their businesses successful. And if it's not with me, it's just going to be with somebody else. So might as well make the introduction. Another way to collaborate is that you can promote each other, right? So if I'm running a workshop, I can ask my joint venture partners to email their list about it, or do a social post about it, and I can do the same for them. You can also do social media live swaps, which is also really fun. So it's almost like a podcast interview where, say, you go live on Facebook or live on LinkedIn, or maybe live at both at the same time, and you they interview you about some things. You can do like a little talk and you have this great conversation. And if they are interviewing you, then it's on their social media platforms. So you're getting exposure to all of their followers, their connections. And then you can set up a live for them where that you host it on your social media, and then they get exposure to all of your people. And actually, as a little tip, if you use something, I'm not sure if StreamYard does it. It could do. But also Restream is a tool, Restream or StreamYard. They allow the other person to connect their social media. So I actually just recently did a social media live where they were hosting it, but then I was able to put it onto my LinkedIn and my Facebook as well, and even my YouTube. So now that video is on all of my channels, on everybody else's channels that was in the live, and the person who was hosting it. So like, just think of the exposure of that. It's huge. And another way that you can collaborate, is the last one that I'll share, is invite them to speak to your group or on your platform, or you can speak on theirs. So if you have like, a group coaching program, or you got some type of community, invite them in, get them to share their knowledge and their expertise with your people, because again, like, they probably are an expert in something that you are not, right? You have your thing that you're really, really good at, and they have their thing that they're really, really good at. And your people probably need to learn a little bit of what they know. So bring them in, have them speak to your people or on your platform. If you have a podcast or something like that, you can invite them to speak. And or even if you're doing a summit or a gift giveaway or something like that, invite them to be part of it. And I think that this really helps to grow your relationship, right? You're giving them opportunities, you're giving them exposure, and they're also contributing to your people. They're contributing to your summit and making it better. And so it's really just like a win, 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 win. And if you have them speak to your group, perhaps they got a group that you can speak on too, which is also pretty cool. And this just kind of goes on and on and on, but these are just some ideas of ways that you can collaborate with people where it's really a win-win, and you can really get creative with it, and it can just be so super fun. And yeah, so that's everything that I wanted to share with you today. So yeah, get out there. Even if you have the intention, like I did with the cruise at the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick with my people and deepen those things. Just by getting out there, you will meet more people. And when you meet people, or even, with the people that you know already, and you're collaborating with them, or just meeting with them, have conversations, have great conversations, listen deeply, ask questions, be curious, and really build those relationships and see how you can support them and how you can support each other so that both of your businesses can grow and flourish. And when you're doing this, of course, be authentic. Be your authentic self. Just be you talking to them, because that is what will resonate the most. And do it within integrity too. Think about your business values, think about your personal values, and really stand within your integrity. Actually, when I was on the ship, there was a woman that I know, and she was looking for testimonials of one of the things, one of the products that she sells that I just recently was sort of introduced to. And somebody else was like, "Oh, I'll give you a testimonial if you want it." And she goes, "Oh, no, I'm not. I don't want you to, because you haven't actually experienced it yet. You haven't been part of it. You haven't seen it. Like, I understand you're being kind, and thank you so much for, wanting to help me out. But I actually want people who have seen it and used it to give me a real, true, authentic testimonial," which I thought was hugely of her being in integrity, right? She was like, "Sure, anybody could say anything. Someone with a huge list that might give me really good exposure, that's kind of like big in this world, could give me a testimonial, but I'm not going to take it because it's not actually true. They haven't actually done it." And I just thought, wow, good for you. That's amazing. That's something that I'm sort of taking away, that I would like to also just be, it's a good reminder of being in that integrity, and like just thinking like, oh, wait a second, is that aligned with me? Is that aligned with my business? Yeah, have a little think of it. So yeah, get out there, meet people, have conversations, build relationships, because you just never know where it will take you. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life. I'd love your help in inspiring more people to live authentically. So please follow, rate, and leave a review so we can create a ripple effect of authenticity. Until next time, stay true to you, be bold, and thrive on your own terms. This is Elisa, signing off authentically.